Guys, it's Jack Funkington here. Today we're checking out this weird crate amp. So this is the Crate G80XL. It was effectively a combo that someone had converted. I like this wood enclosure. It's very reminiscent of the classic crate style, because if you look at like the crate amps that came out, I think in the 70s or 80s, they were all enclosed in wood. They were literally in a crate. That was the appeal. That's where the name came from, to my knowledge. Don't quote me on that. Anyway, it's really cool. And I have a soft spot for crate amps. My first guitar amp was a crate combo. My first tube amp, my first tube amp wasn't a crate Blue Voodoo, but I love the Blue Voodoos. I've owned that. I've owned a Stealth. I want to check out like their classic series, which is like more of a low gain bluesy rock style stuff. That I think that'd be fun. But I picked this up, and it's really cool. If you guys remember, a long time ago, I had an amp I affectionately named End Table. This is like the baby brother of End Table. This I will nickname Coffee Table, because it's made out of wood and it's brown and it reminds me of a coffee table. So, and this thing sounds pretty good for, what it is. So on the clean channel, I'm with the Shecker running through the new 212, which, by the way, I did not realize this till after I filmed the video, is loaded with eminent speakers, which I love. So this does have a bright switch, so this is without. Turn the volume up a little bit. Put the bright switch on. Adds a little bit of a treble. It does have a reverb tank and built-in reverb, but it doesn't seem to work. So even if it does work, it's like super subtle. Yeah. But that's the only part about this amp that doesn't really work. Has a line out and obviously a place for a foot switch. Line in, line out, so that's the effects loop. But you can kind of use it as a line out too. Anyway. I actually have no idea how many watts this is. I'm going to guess by the number it's 80. I actually like, because I put on my EQ pedal and it gives a little bit more of a boost. One thing I will say is the EQ on this amp isn't super tight of an EQ. It's funny because the clean channel, it says your standard low, medium, high. But you go to the gain channel, which is channel A, which I always kind of think of clean as channel A, but whatever. It's A, called the Shape Matrix. That is super 90s, so this is probably a 90 amp, but like Shape Matrix, that just makes me think of something someone would come up with in the 90s. And it's sub, focus, and lead. What? Why not just same here? Every other amp besides, and I've noticed crate amps do this a lot, where they'll say that. I think the only other amp I've seen something similar to that is a PV-XXX, which will say bottom, body, and hair. So. Oh, the channel is foot switchable, which is nice. Probably already said that. a face melting amount of gain on this amp, but it does have like I'd say this amp has the adequate amount of gain that you would want. Because I've got the gain to get like this. Kind of a sound. I've got the gain cranked. Roll the gain back pretty far to get like a light crunch. It's softer, but it's like there's gain and clean. There's no like it doesn't really get to a crunch setting. It always just sounds like it's trying to be high gain. To me, at least, because I don't know, a crunch to me is like just past the edge of breakup. I could be thinking of that wrong. Throw on the EQ pedal. Turn the gain up to about halfway without the EQ. Just before 3/4. And then all the gain. Add the EQ/boost. The one thing this amp for me doesn't do is the treble, and this is why once I have an overdrive pedal, it'll easier to explain or show, but if I crank the treble, and I don't know if it's the treble's fault. There's like a, I don't know the phrase. There's a hollowness to the tone, and it could be the speakers, but I mean, I ran the 900 through the cabinet, it sounded great, so it could just be the function of the amp. It doesn't saturate super like well. Like to get saturations, I've got to crank the gain. And it's still not like saturated. But it's very usable. It's not like it's a bad tone. For what it is, it's like I wouldn't feel bad like if I had to start over and someone handed me this amp and this cab. I'd be like, yeah, it's fine. I think the overdrive pedal I've got coming which is an Ibanez Tube Screamer clone that I've heard some very good things about. I think that'll make this amp come alive a little bit more. On the gain channel. The clean channel, however, I think it sounds great. Although I don't... A little bit of a scratchy pot there. I love that. I wish the reverb worked. Like I said, it still sounds good. It's still a good amp for what it is. I mean, if I would have paid a lot of money for this amp, it'd be a different thing. I'd say, like, hey, you know, this is kind of a rip. But, like, obviously I traded the Ibanez. I've owned this before. Before that, and I traded... I can't remember what I traded to get it, but it wasn't worth like a ton of money. So, I mean, I'd value this amp at like $80, $100 if you throw in the 210. So, but still, sounds good for what it is, and it'll be around for a while. A little coffee table, because it's never bad to have a backup crate head. This is Jack Punkington signing out. Peace, guys.